Good morning, students. Welcome back to Science 2 class. Today, we are going to continue the same chapter, Basis of Classification. In this chapter, we are going to see about the classifications of plants, the five kingdom of classification, merits and demerits of five kingdom of classification, and finally the binomial nomenclature. Now let's see about the topic is classifications of plants. All living organisms in the ecosystem are classified into kingdoms and subkingdoms based on their characteristic. Similarly, plants are also classified into different subkingdoms based on certain characteristic feature. Based on dichotomy, plants also can be classified into two main groups, flowering and non-flowering. Non-flowering plants are classified into three types, algae, mosses and ferns. The first type of non-flowering plant is algae. Algae are classified as non-flowering plants. Algae plants have no flower, stem and leaves. Instead of these typical structures, algae consist of strands or individual cells, generally displaying a green color due to their high content of chlorophyll. Algae depend on photosynthesis and are seen covering wet areas such as rocks in streams and the surface of lakes. Algae feed marine life as well as animals that prey on marine life. The next type of non-flowering plant is mosses. Mosses are another type of non-flowering plant. Though they have no flower, mosses do have leaves, stem and underground rhizomes, often climbing together to form a carpet-like ground cover. Moss plants generally reach a height of 2 inches or less. Funaria is an example of mosses. The next type of non-flowering plants is ferns. Ferns are one category of non-flowering plants. Though they have no flower, these plants do have root system, rhizoids and leaves, capable of photosynthesis, a plant's conversion of energy from the sun into the production of food. Ferns reproduce through the expulsion of millions of spores. Basically, they are the first land plants which grows well in shady, moist and cool places. Now let's move on to the next topic is flowering plant. Based on their fruit body, flowering plants are classified into two types, gymnosperms and angiosperms. Let's see about the next topic is gymnosperm. Gymnosperms are other type of plant that bear seeds directly on sporophylls without covering. As the name suggests, the gymnosperms are vascular plants of the kingdom Plantae, which bear naked seeds. There are very fewer species of gymnosperms. The main reason for being very fewer species is the lack of protection of seeds. The seeds are naked and unprotected when released. They need to get into the ground quickly to take root or they will be damaged by animals, weather conditions or any other factors. A seed is produced by non-flowering plants and are unenclosed or naked. These plants are evergreen. Leaves are scale-like and needle-like in shape. Some examples of gymnosperms are neem, pine, redwood, ginkgo are some examples of gymnosperms. Now let's see about the next topic is angiosperms. The word angiosperm is derived from Greek which translates to a container. As the name suggests, the angiosperms are vascular plants which bears seeds in fruits or mature ovaries. Angiosperm forms flower that carries reproductive organs and fruits. These plants are more adaptive to the terrestrial habitat and have a very wide distribution. Around 25,000 species have been identified to date. A seed is produced by flowering plants and is enclosed within ovary. The life cycle of these plants are seasonal. The leaves are flat in shape. Some examples of angiosperms are fruits trees including mango, apple, banana, cherry, orange, etc. Then corn, rice, wheat are also some examples of angiosperm. Based on the number of cotyledons, angiosperms are broadly divided into two groups, monocotyledons and dicotyledons. The first one is monocotyledons. What is monocotyledons? Cotyledons are a significant part of the embryo found in a seed. They are the first part of a seedling to emerge from the soil when it germinates. Monocotyledons are plants that have only one cotyledon. They also have other characteristics such as flower pods in multiples of threes. This means they will have 3, 6 or 9 petals. They also have adventitious roots. These are roots that can grow from almost any part of the plant that comes into contact with the soil, such as the stem. Also, if you look closely at the leaves of a monocotyledon plant, you will see that the veins of the leaves are parallel. Some examples of monocotyledons plants are onion, garlic, paddy, lily plants are some examples of monocotyledons. The next topic is dicotyledons. Dicotyledons plants are commonly referred to as dicot plants. They are flowering plants mostly grown as herbs, shrubs and trees with the seed containing two cotyledons. The venation pattern of their leaves radiates from a central main vein. Some common examples are eucalyptus, potato, tomato, hibiscus, tamarind, etc. Now let's move on to the next topic is five kingdom of classification. The system of assembling organism into groups or sets on the basis of likenesses and variances is called classification. It simplifies the study of a wide variety of organism in a very systematic manner. R.H. Whitaker proposed the five kingdom classification in 1969. This classification was based upon certain characters like mode of nutrition, thallus organization, cell structure, phylogenetic relationship, and reproduction. This form of kingdom classification includes 5 kingdoms: Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. The first kingdom of classification is Kingdom Monera. Bacteria are categorized underneath the kingdom Monera. Bacteria occur everywhere and they are microscopic in nature. They possess a cell wall and are prokaryotic. The cell wall is formed of amino acids and polysaccharides. Bacteria can be heterotrophic and autotrophic. The heterotrophic bacteria can be parasitic or saprophytic. Bacteria and blue-green algae are some examples of kingdom Monera. The next kingdom of classification is Kingdom Protista. They are unicellular and eukaryotic organisms. Some of them have cilia or flagella for mobility. Sexual reproduction is by a process of cell fusion and zygote formation. Amoeba and paramecium are some examples of kingdom Protista. The next kingdom of classification is Kingdom Fungi. The fungi are filamentous excluding yeast. Their figure comprises slender, long thread-like constructions called mycelium. The cell wall of fungi is composed of polysaccharides. Most of the fungi are saprophytes and are heterotrophic. Some of the fungi also survive as symbiont. Some are parasites. Some of the symbiont fungi live in association with algae like lichens. Mushrooms and yeast are some examples of kingdom fungi. The next kingdom of classification is Kingdom Plantae. The kingdom Plantae is filled with all eukaryotes which have chloroplast. Most of them are autotrophic in nature, but some are heterotrophic as well. The cell wall mainly comprises cellulose. Fern, cone-bearing plants and flowering plants are some examples of kingdom Plantae. The next kingdom of classification is Kingdom Animalia. All multicellular eukaryotes which are heterotrophs and lack cell wall are set aside under this kingdom. The animals are directly or indirectly depend on plants for food. Their mode of nutrition is holozoic. Holozoic nutrition encompasses ingestion of food and then the use of an internal cavity for digestion of food. Many of the animals are adapted for locomotion. Now let's see about the next topic is merits of 5 kingdom classification. Unicellular and multicellular organisms are kept separate. Fungi are placed in a separate kingdom as their mode of nutrition differ from all other plants. Autotrophs and heterotrophs are placed in separate groups. 5 kingdom classification is more natural than 2 kingdom classification. 5 kingdom classification is based on biocomposition and mode of nutrition, thus it shows series of evolution. This is for some merits of 5 kingdom classification. Let's see about the next topic is demerits of 5 kingdom classification. Unicellular algae are kept in kingdom Protista, whereas algae like multicellular organisms are kept in kingdom Plantae. But similar organisms must be put together. There is a diversity in kingdom Protista. Dissimilar organism must not be kept in same group. There is no place for viruses in five kingdom classification. Similar organisms are kept far from each other. For example, unicellular and multicellular algae. This is for some demerits of five kingdom classification. Now let's move on to the next topic is binomial nomenclature. What is binomial nomenclature? The system of binomial nomenclature was introduced by Carolus Linnaeus. Multiple local names make it extremely difficult to identify an organism globally and keep a track of the number of species. Thus, it creates a lot of confusion. To get rid of this confusion, a standard protocol came up. According to it, each and every organism would have one scientific name which would be used by everyone to identify an organism. This process of standardized naming is called as binomial nomenclature. Binomial nomenclature is an universal system of naming organism. As per this system, each organism has two names. The first is the genus name and the second is the species name. Genus name begins with a capital letter and species name begins with a small letter. For example, the nomenclature for onion is Allium sativum. Here the genus name is Allium and the species name is Sativum. Thank you students. The second chapter is over. I hope you all understood this chapter. If you have any doubt, please text me. Thank you. Have a nice day.